Ja, herzlich willkommen zurück zu Teil 4. Benjamin Cowen, Commentary auf Deutsch. Let's go.
2023 right now, we compare to 2019. You can also compare to 2015, which, I mean, it was pretty humdrum during the time, right? I mean, no one really cared. But in this other sense, right, if you look at the monthly returns in the pre-halving years, right, like 2019 and 2015, just look at the chart, you typically spend about half the months going up, half the months going down. And so far, we've done 4 green months and 1 red month, although May is not over with yet. There's a chance that it ends up being green. Who am I to say that Bitcoin can't rally this to turn this green? But so far, it's been 4 green. Therefore, for the rest of the year, I'd probably expect, 2 to 3 more green months max, and likely going to see some red months, more red months than green months from here until the end of the year is my guess. This should not come as news. We've talked about this literally since January, that we should have about 6 green, 6 red. It could be 5 and 7 or 7 and 5, but that would be my general expectation for the duration of this year. Could something else happen? Sure, right? I'm just going based on what the data shows, what's historically happened in the pre-halving year. And what normally happens in the pre-halving year is everyone gets excited because we get a rally, and everyone calls for new highs, and then it fades. And then everyone's like, well, what's going on? We have a way of getting ahead of ourselves. And one issue that we've talked about before is we have these meme coin rallies that can often happen in the pre-halving year. And Bitcoin has a way of of punishing this. And by Bitcoin sort of fading a move, the altcoin market, can significantly get hit. And that liquidity, people just get so sick and tired of it, and then they finally just sort of go back to Bitcoin. And then by the time we get to the halving year, everyone, mostly everyone has their maxi hat on by that point, because they just got wrecked in the altcoin market for 2 years straight. And then,
Also wenn wir in Richtung Halving kommen, dann hat jeder sein Maxi-Hat auf. Das bedeutet, dass jeder eben in Bitcoin drin ist, weil er einfach gemerkt hat, die Altcoins gehen kaputt. Die werden immer wertloser im Gegensatz zu Bitcoin. Und wenn dann wieder Bitcoin Anlauf nimmt, Fahrt aufnimmt und wieder vielleicht sogar neue Highs macht, über die 70.000 wieder kommt, also das erwarte ich auf jeden Fall irgendwann, jetzt in den nächsten 2-3 Jahren, dann kann es auch irgendwann sein, wenn Bitcoin ein bisschen langsamer performt oder eben auch mal zurück wiederkommt und vielleicht mal ein paar Prozent auch wieder verliert, dass dann eben die Altcoins wieder extrem nach oben schießen, so wie es immer ist.
And Bitcoin goes on the real bull run. That's historically what's happened. And it normally takes 2 years after the peak for people to finally get the memo to say, hey, like the meme coin market doesn't lead the cryptoverse, right? Bitcoin leads. And if Bitcoin sniffs out at some point that too much liquidity is flowing into these, meme coins that provide no utility, it will punish them. Right? It will. And that's what it historically has done. The meme coins that rally back over here in 2019, I guarantee most of you'd have no idea what they even are today. Why? You don't have any reason to. They basically all went to zero. So who cares? Okay? So now that Bitcoin's sort of falling in here to the 20-week SMA, we talked about, okay, well, if it holds, the dominance should go up. If we don't hold it, the dominance should go up. Well, why would that?
Egal, ob wir die Bull Market Support Bands halten und nach oben kommen oder nach unten, die Bitcoin-Dominanz wird vermutlich nach oben gehen.
That be the case. What proof is there that the dominance would go up if we don't hold it? What proof is there? Is there any proof? Well, I would say this. Historically, if you look at, and maybe, comparing to see Ethereum is probably the most prudent thing to do. I mean, you can see that Ethereum has just been putting in a series of lower highs. I mean, and that's just a fact. Just one lower high after another, okay? I don't really think this time's going to be any different. In fact, May often marks a local high for the Ether-Bitcoin pair. I mean, look at where the Ether-Bitcoin pair rallied in 2022, and look at where that final local high was, right? It occurred in May. Go look at prior, some of these other time frames. Go look back in 2018. This local high was in May. And I mean, this one here was in about mid-June, so a little bit later, right? This one was in March, and then you had another local high here in May. and so on and so forth. You can find plenty of examples. Here's May as well, somewhere right there, before the Ether Bitcoin valuation faded. And we can look at it like this, where you might have to squint your eyes, or we could pull up a table, right? So here's a table, and sorry, I wish I could, there we go. So what this table shows us, sorry, let me, before you guys get mad, let me move my video. So I would say just pause the video and look at this table for a few minutes, okay? So what it essentially shows you, it shows you when Bitcoin breaks above the 20-week SMA to when it breaks below, or when it breaks below to when it breaks back above. And literally 9 out of 9 times, every single time, from weekly close below the 20-week SMA to weekly close above the 20-week SMA by Bitcoin USD, the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation went down. 9 out of...
Also 9 von 9 Fällen, in denen Bitcoin die 20-Wochen-Durchschnitte überboten hat, quasi mit dem US-Dollar-Preis von Bitcoin, ist Bitcoin im Vergleich zu Ethereum, hat viel besser performt. Also Ethereum wird likely nach unten gehen, während Bitcoin nach oben geht, oder eben Ethereum wird nicht so stark nach oben gehen wie Bitcoin.
9 times, more or less, right? I mean, you might find some instances where it's basically equal, but more or less you have 9 out of 9 times it worked. When it went above the 20-week SMA to closing below, Ethereum has always outperformed every single time, except one time. When do you think that was? When do you think Ethereum underperformed Bitcoin when Bitcoin was above the 20-week SMA? Right? There's been plenty of examples through here where Bitcoin underperforms Ethereum when Bitcoin is above its 20-week SMA. We're not talking about Ethereum. I don't care about the 20-week SMA for Ethereum. I'm saying when Bitcoin was above its own 20-week SMA until closing back below it, Ethereum's Bitcoin valuation went up, except for one time. What time was that? Glad you asked. Fail right here. 2019. From breakup to breakdown in 2019, the pre-halving year is when that actually happened. Okay, the pre-halving year. So when did Bitcoin break above it this time? Let's go take a look,
Also,
right? And
das war's mit dem 4. Teil vom Benjamin Commentary auf Deutsch. Wir sehen uns gleich wieder im 5. Teil. Ciao.